Welcome to the Redvee TV Instant Reaction, supported by Chapel House Cars for the 2025 season, following Saints' 18 points to 4 victory over the Leeds Rhinos. Kevin?
I am absolutely made up with that. I'm absolutely made up that they've proved me wrong.
Ye of little faith.
Yeah. Well, let's as I said in the show, what evidence was there that performance was going to be there? We've not done that against a team who have been above us in the league for quite some time. So being able to actually go out there, and I don't think the first half was necessarily massive quality, but the fact that we could stick in there, the fact that even though Leeds probably weren't at their best, we have been able to get the win. That's a good result for us, a real good result. Not just in the fact we're taking 2 points away, the fact that we were going for so long.
The 11 out of 12 is still on. It's still on. The lineup that we went with was essentially what we called on Redvee, wasn't
Pretty
it?
much, yeah.
Burns coming onto the bench, Moses into 7.
It's probably just the Wingfield Lees thing that we didn't quite get right.
So Moses into 7. We have bagged Moses for a good few weeks playing 9, saying he's offered very little and hasn't justified his place in the squad. I will say that Moses at 7 tonight for a fill-in for George Whitby was very good for us.
Yeah, I thought he was. I thought he played a very good containing game. It wasn't necessarily one that was properly probing, although his first kick of the game to pin him in goal, that kind of set the standard of Leeds going, oh, hang on a minute, there could well be a bit of a threat here.
He never panicked either.
No,
Every kick,
he
he was set.
Yeah, and that's what from someone who has pulled on a State of Origin jersey, that's exactly what you should be expecting. It gives us an opportunity to, when George Whitby needs a rest, play Moses there. Absolutely gives you that opportunity, because you can't keep flogging George Whitby week in, week out.
Well, here's a question for you. George Whitby got a HIA against Salford and missed tonight. Do you stick with that next week, just against Salford? Leave Moses at 7, give George another week off ahead of the Leeds game? Hull? Against Hull?
You could do,
yeah. Hull then Leeds?
I think it's Hull then Leeds.
I should know this on my 11 out of 12 month.
You should do. I think the only thing I'd say about the half-back partnership tonight was in the first half when we went for the 2 penalties, there looked like there was some confusion there. It looked like we didn't quite know what was going on. And then there was some runs in the second half where, I know when Noah came on, he didn't take a carry, I think, in his first set. And you think, who's calling these plays? Who's not looking at the fresh prop forward who's come on, who's known for being a bit of an upright runner, keeping his legs and trying to get forward? Why are we not utilising that? So maybe there was a bit of confusion because it's a half-back partnership that hasn't played a lot together. But I don't think it necessarily went that badly. I think Moses went well.
As much as Moses played a containing game, and I think Johnny did the same. He didn't try and, because George is out, try and take too much on himself.
Yeah, there were a couple of jinking runs and he took the line on a little bit. I'd like to have seen him bring Harry Robertson into the game a little bit more. That's me just being picky though, I think. But he had a fine enough game, and they have steered us around the park very well.
First half, 2 penalties within Leeds 10. The first one, the players were looking around for seemed like an eternity, looking up into the stands. Surely the captain has to call that straight away. We should know if it's 0 after 10 minutes. What's the plan? Are we going for 2 or are we running it? It didn't look like there was any sort of confidence in going, and that could have severely backfired. It hasn't, but if we'd have gone on to lose that game by a score, fans would have been rightly calling for the decision. But in the grand scheme of things,
it's the right.
He's got the right call.
It's been the right call.
What did you think of the fans booing it?
I think fans I'm not a booer. I think we said that before. I think fans are completely entitled, once you've paid your money, to voice your opinion.
But is booing just a case in point of getting over that you're not happy with the decision?
You want us to run that ball?
Yeah. Because the fans have got more confidence in the players scoring?
Yeah, absolutely. And we probably do, but the players with the experience they've got have obviously just seen it and gone, let's settle things down now. Let's get points on the board, because points on the board, obviously, they do win your games, get the scoreboard pressure up. I know it ends up 2-0, 4-0 before we end up scoring just at the end of that first half. But, yeah, I don't have a problem with fans booing that because they're booing a decision rather than a player as such.
Yeah.
So
Booing a coaching decision.
Yeah.
And to be fair, if Wello gets asked about that in the presser, he'll be saying, "Well, I live and die by those decisions, and look at the results."
Yeah, exactly.
Brave call.
Yeah, very.
Another brave call was his use of the interchange in that first half. Sweltering heat. We took Walmsley off and then put him back on. We only used that one interchange, one forward, and left 3 on the bench in the second half.
Calling it a brave call is a brave call in itself. The argument is we've won the game. I'd just like to see.
Does it show a lack of trust?
Yeah, it kind of does. From the outside, that's what it looks like. I'd just like to see. We'd all like to see Noah give him more minutes and see what he can do. And I know that it's a tight game, it's a tough game. I'm not gonna make the lad absolutely bust a gut and do 30 minutes.
He looked tired after his 13-14 minute stint. But is that because he's not getting the game time and he's not playing reserves?
And this is where you've given yourself the leeway to give him them minutes next week against Salford, and he should be getting a good 30 minutes. Yeah, you could do.
And the argument for me, the thing that really bugs me is Wello's, when he was asked about why Noah got the minutes last week, was he giving Parsi rest? And he turned around and said, no, Parsi's been dropped to the reserves because there's been errors creeping into his game. Noah's got the bench spot on merit last week. Okay, that's fine. So Noah comes on last week, does a couple of really decent runs, shows well, and then you come to tonight, Parsi's on the bench and gets on the field before him. Yeah. So what's Parsi done in the reserves to jump over him? You can pretty much map out how it's going to go. That we knew full well. Okay, Noah's on the bench. He ain't coming on first half.
Yeah, we were doing it at the back of the West. That in the second half, we were saying this is when Parsi's going to go off. This is when Noah's going to go off. Alex Walmsley's going to come back on. I think the only one that we got wrong was Jake Burns actually seeing some action because we just didn't think he was going to get on.
I don't get the lack of trust either. Not when you've Alex comes on for the first 5 minutes. Yeah, listen, Alex was good tonight, but he's still got them mistakes in him. Just as Noah might have a mistake in him as well. He's a young lad, but Noah, when he's carrying the ball, he's difficult to get down. And he's carrying men with him, and he's tiring them out.
Yeah, he's making them work for the tackle. He absolutely is, because he doesn't stop, and that's where you want to see. And you've got to see the development of young players. We can't go wondering what should have been with Noah. We need to see. Listen, is he someone who has a fine enough career? Is he someone who can take it to the next level? Is he someone who it doesn't quite work for? We won't know if he's just getting little stints, and yeah, I think he should be trusted a lot more. I'm sure people on social media, in the comments and that, want to see him a lot more. It's not about just saying he's definitely playing for 30 minutes against Leeds, but against Salford next week at home, he should be a shoo-in for coming on in that first half.
Start him at prop.
You could arguably do so, but you could go, we're going to bring him on halfway through the first half or half an hour in, you get 10 minutes, then you get a break, then you get another 10 minutes, you come off, and then you come on at the end of the game and finish the game and see the game out.
I want to see it blowing out your arse.
Yeah, exactly.
So first half, we're 4-0 up. We get over with Dion Cross, took his try well. Second half, Leeds looked like they'd had a rollicking at half time, a shellacking off Brad Arthur. They looked like they'd come out with a lot more energy. Yeah. And then they go and get that first score, and you think we're letting them back in, but we stood up to the test.
Yeah, I thought that it was very, very disappointing the way that Lockie Miller, I think it was, just seemingly cut through our defence quite easily. And for all the hard work that we'd done in the first half, it looked like that was being undone. But then after that, even though we did make some errors in our own half, we kind of extinguished them. We made sure that we weren't conceding again. I mean, in the second half, late on in the second half, is it McDonald, the second row? He could have just plopped over for a try, but they're then making bad decisions because our defence was good enough just to see them out. I'm going to go again that I don't think that's the best version of Leeds that has been this season.
Yeah, but have they been a bit like us? But walloping teams who they should be beating, and when they come up with somebody...
They've walloped Warrington, and we've not done that this year.
Yeah, but that was after Wembley.
But nonetheless, even if that's not the best version of Leeds, you've got to go out and beat them, and that's why I've just been told as I was coming out, or asked, are you going to say something positive? That's why I'm staying positive with it. That is a team who are above us in the league that we've said that the team haven't shown signs of beating. Or at least I have. I'll completely own that I've said there's not been evidence of us.
I said we'd win.
I know you did say we'd win, which is fair enough, but
For people who moan so much and negative, I've still got the faith that we're winning this run of fixtures.
Yeah, and listen, I applaud that. I don't know where you got it from when you said it at the time, but
Nearly colours to the mast.
That's a great.
Look, I'm even in merch.
You are. That's a great. Yeah, if somebody wants to buy me some merch, I will wear it for the game. But yeah, that's a. What was that? What did you just say? This is going to be the end of Redvee, this one.
I'm walking over.
Yeah, oh yeah, I'm driving, aren't I? Yeah, unlucky. I'll take Redvee Junior home. I'll drop her off at home all safe, but you're walking. But yeah, listen, that's a good old performance. Does it mean we're back?
Yes.
No, you've got to back it up.
We're winning the lot.
You've got to back it up.
Well, luckily we'll back it up against Salford.
Well, we will.
Tristan Saylor.
Yep.
I thought it was good against Salford, and listen, there's a long way to go, but he's looking more of a threat and more of a player. I thought he did well tonight.
Every time you say good against Salford, I go back to the line that you said of me and you could have played against Salford.
Yeah.
So
but he's backed it up tonight against a decent side, and he's been good in attack, good in defence.
I think that's the most confidence I've seen him bringing the ball out. I think there were a couple of times where he kind of looked as if he was going to poke his head through the line and go, and it didn't quite work for him. He's got a deserved try at the end of the day tonight, and you know what? It's good to see him having that confidence at fullback. Yeah, he's one of them who's missed Lockie Miller as he's gone through, but it's hard to be critical of the boys tonight, because I think they've been terrific and tremendous at the
What
same
we haven't talked about is the Ryan Hall break in the first half, where he's gone 70 metres and Harry Robertson's got across and made the tackle in the corner. Not alone, I might add. There was 3 or 4 Saints bodies to get him into touch.
Yeah.
Now, Saints do an award at the end of the year as part of the Player of the Year awards. Is it the Spirit of Saints award?
Yeah, or the 1%.
The extra 1%, and they pick out a moment in the season that isn't something. It isn't a try or anything like that. It's something that stands out. It's that extra effort. There's your winner. Nothing's beaten that. That's the Morgan Knowles Superman tackle from a couple of years ago. On par with that.
Yeah. It was tremendous to see.
I think it was because of the body. It's Ryan Hall as well. To get him into touch.
And I think if it's Ryan Hall a couple of years ago, he probably goes in before Harry gets over there. But it isn't. So you've still got to make that tackle. And the fact that Harry got over and was ably assisted, I think it was Daggers and I think it was Jake Wingfield as well, who all got involved.
You said George Whitby earlier. It's definitely not him.
I don't know. But yeah, Jake Wingfield got involved, and it's good to see us working like that, and it shows a cohesion that we've not really seen on the field, but is probably there behind the scenes for the day-to-day that we don't see.
Shows the team playing for the coach.
Yeah, of course it does. Playing for each other as well, which sometimes when they go out there, they've got all the words from the coach ringing round in their head. They've got to go out and actually do it. So doing that and covering your mate and making sure that you stop the try towards getting the win, that's sometimes the biggest thing that gives you that biggest boost, the big fillip that you go, actually, we've got a chance here, we're going to do this.
That's a big win for Wello, isn't it?
Yeah, massive. I think it's huge for him. And the fact that we've got Salford next week, which again should be another win, another easy win, that one. You then go into, what is it, Hull away, Leeds away, Lee at home, which are 3
massive, easily winnable games.
Well, but
winnable games.
You don't know which Hull you're getting. If you get the good Hull side, then you've got to turn up, and you've got to be again better than we've seen tonight. If you get the good Leeds side, you've got to be, again, you've got to take it up another notch. Lee have been our bogey team for the past couple of years even, and they are more than capable of turning us over. But again, are they quite firing on all cylinders at the minute? Not entirely sure. It's a good win. I'm not going to get too carried away, but I am positive about it.
I said on the show the other day, if Saints have any ambition of finishing third, they at least needed to split these two fixtures against Leeds.
Yeah.
So we've done
Yeah.
half the job. Well, we've done the job there. If we can beat them there at their place, then it's game on, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is indeed.
As long as we don't slip up against Salford.
Yeah. With typical Saints, would you call
Typical
that?
Saints. Right.
No, we're not ending there, are we?
What do you want to end on?
Owen Dagnall.
Oh, right. Forgot about him. He's fitted in that seamlessly. It's like he's always been there.
Yeah. Want to end on Daggers because I think he's had a tremendous game. One of my favourite things wasn't even his try. One of the favourite things of a couple of people around us wasn't even his backside being on display and him trying to pull his shorts up as he's running away. But he stayed out on his wing. We've got the ball and we're trying to bring it out from our own line. And he stood over on his wing. And Leeds must be looking, thinking, what are they doing with
I
this?
like the fact that he's just pointing, like,
Yeah,
go on,
over
kick
there,
it.
and like putting his hand up, give it me. And all of a sudden, that's one of those little bits of, is it youthful exuberance? Is it planned? Is it just him
Another thing
going,
for me,
"I'm
how
gonna
many
go and do
times
it"?
have we brought backs through over the last few years and they don't look like they're built to play rugby?
Yeah.
Owen Dagnall looks big enough to play Super League already.
Yeah, and
Athletic enough.
I think people are clamouring for him to play in the centres eventually. Now, we've been, I was chatting to one of our mates at the back. He said he's always been a winger. And you can see that with the way that he's finished his try. That instead of going round the outside, he's seen the opportunity to come in and then go a little bit out. So just to kind of give himself that gap. I just think he's had a wonderful game tonight, and it's right that he's lauded, even if it is by me, and me saying, right, we are talking about Daggers before we go. Because I think
this was scripted.
No, I think for a young lad to come in, what's that, third appearance, second start, to look comfortable, and he'll have some games where he's put under the pump, and he'll have some games where he shines. For him to have shone as well as he did tonight, and he probably was my man of the match.
He's going to get that run of games now where he has to put it in Wello's mind that Lewis Murphy doesn't get a shirt back, and that's nothing to do.
Well,
Lewis Murphy.
it's even the case of if he's going to keep getting injured, so he drops out. I'm here, I'm ready. I've done it. You know you can rely on me. Not that you're going, actually we can't rely on him.
I mean, what he does do though is it settles John Bennison's future if it wasn't already.
Yeah, unfortunately for John, it probably does look like
And T. Ritson, remember him?
Yeah.
He's still at the club apparently.
But it does.
He wasn't Church Square anyway.
Because you think about if he can play a bit of centre, so you need him for a game in the centres, you need him for a run of 3 if someone's injured or suspended or whatever. It gives you that option, and that's nowadays where you've got to go with your squad, that you've got players who can fill in a bit more around. And while John Bennison can play a bit of fullback, you can see there's currently at the club probably 3 fullbacks ahead of him in Harry Robertson, Tristan Saylor who played tonight, Jack Wellesby who wears the shirt. So unfortunately for John, I think that's his Saints career will be done at the end of the year. Same for T. Can't see him getting a renewal because you've got the young lads coming through, and if we're signing the likes of the rumoured one, Jacob Douglas from Wigan, if you do sign the likes of him, then again you're pushing, you're getting what you'd say was a relatively inexpensive winger centre who can come in and do a job for you, and you're hoping he's going to be the future.
Hey, there's headaches there.
Good because
actually, sorry, there'd be selection headaches if we could keep everyone fit.
We could keep everyone
but as it is, do you know what? You just stay fit, you get a game.
Yeah.
Right, that's enough. Are you happy now?
I'm happy.
Do you want to finish the episode, Kevin?
Do you want me to start singing, or do you want me just to say?
Want to?
No, I'm all right, thanks. I'm gonna end on a positive note, and the fact that I thought that was a good performance. And while I have been negative over the past couple of weeks, I can appreciate that. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you next week. Will it be Friday for the Redvee TV show?
That was 11.